People grow up with different things during their childhood. For some people, it may have been your first Hot Wheel track, perhaps even a dollhouse. Maybe it could have been a stuffed animal or even your own puppy. The point is, everyone grew with something during their childhood, and mine was the Nintendo 64. Ta-da. One of my most fondest memories as a child was playing my friend's Nintendo 64. It was my first gaming system that I tried, and today I've not just bought one, but two, but it's over there. At the time, systems were easier to customize, so companies would try different colors. I have one in black and one in gold. Gaming has been a big part of my life, and even more so now as I want to join video game companies and help entertain future generations. I have been into gaming since I was young. There hasn't been one system from big companies from the likes of Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Nintendo has had its history of home consoles and handheld gaming to play on the go. Sony and Microsoft have had their powerhouse consoles from Sony's PlayStation to current PlayStation 5 and Microsoft's advanced iterations of the Xbox. I currently own all the current systems I can tell you from any of gaming's history, especially Nintendo. The Nintendo 64 is still considered one of the most impactful and innovative systems since its release. Its impact on my life has led me to have a dream job in mind. Oh, hope to have a dream job in mind. The Nintendo 64 even revolutionized the world of 3D gaming, and it sure has come a long way as 3-dimensional gaming is still prevalent in our current era. Today I will explain how big of an impact the system represents and why the system has influenced my whole life and culture. When the Nintendo 64 got announced, it was speculated to bring a new era of gaming with its 3D graphics. At the time, the Nintendo 64 was praised, and it's still a big core of influence that have influenced companies and people to make games 3D. Its predecessor, the Super Nintendo's Entertainment System, was praised for bringing many games to be playable at home, while the 64 revolutionized gaming because at the time it was viewed as very realistic, even if it looked a little pixelated. After years have passed, it has influenced games to look almost exactly as realistic to real life as it could be. Many people have always thought of love at first sight. Of course, I didn't fall in love with the system, but I know one thing for sure, I couldn't stop looking at it when I first saw it. My childhood revolved around the system because in my mind it was crazy controlling the character's action on what I wanted it for it to do, from breaking pots in The Legend of Zelda or racing backwards in Mario Kart. I really wasn't good at the games, but I felt like it had a way to escape as a kid. After years of this, the system influenced my life as I discovered other systems and other games to play, and every year I learned more about it. I've learned its history of the console wars when two companies faced to outbeat each other, to new different styles of games between action horror games to gaming simulators. Maybe not the second one, but it was interesting how they were made. In this last year, I've even picked a major influence on myself to try to dream of joining Nintendo, a gaming company, and making games myself. The Nintendo 64 was an extraordinary system and one I'm glad to have added to my life. If it wasn't for its impact on my life at a young age, it may have taken me time to figure out my dream job. The Nintendo 64 impacts future systems to improve and have gaming becomes so advanced that has made many new people love video games. I will always look back to this system as it introduced the culture of gaming. This system was my childhood, and I'm sure many people had their own childhood objects that they have meant as an important part of it. And the system right here, I'll never forget the world it showed me as a kid. Thank you.